Okay, I should be live on all whatever amount of platforms we're on. This is the Unknown Light Warrior, the 140, welcoming you to. Okay, let me see here. Free conference call should be live. My mum muted, so we'll just investigate that one. I'm going to soldier on in the meantime. This is the 144K global meditation of April 1st, full moon in Libra, I believe. And I don't know if most of you had a chance to read today's big situation report via email. I don't have time to post it on the blog, unfortunately, or I can spread it on social media. But it's in email. Hopefully most of you had a chance to read it. If you haven't, don't worry, it's all good. You can read it later. But massive developments, massive and underlying behind the walls of the matrix kind of, I would even say, transformations that have occurred since Monday. This very bad, stubborn, I wouldn't even call it a stalemate situation, started to turn finally. That's been there for at least 2 months minimum. And a breakthrough has happened, which culminated overnight and early this morning, US times. And this is fantastic news because the 144K is still yet to swing into action. Highly opportunistic in a big way. That rarely happens. Very rare. So we're going to synergize with that. Not just double the fun or double the results. We're going to synergize. Triple the results. Quadruple the results. Upon playing our cards right. And upon you being gently guided and carefully guided in going deep within you, using the old 144K mind hacks to bypass the stubborn as all get out adult conditioned left hemisphere brain over to your right hemisphere brain. That will allow you to let your soul mission and potential rip with a capital R. And that's the essence, the hallmark of what the 144K is for Starseeds that have raised their hands and stepped forward into this unique, privileged position of the planetary liberation process. And so, yeah, those are the key words for this mass 144K intervention, which is highly opportune. Those two words really, I suppose, represent it all. Highly opportune. So get excited and happy, even though the energies started to get intense again this afternoon, US times, because they always ritualize on full moons, 3 days, well, 3 nights prior and 3 days after. Which, you know, as far as the 3 nights prior to a full moon or new moon, you know, it did amplify an already very crazy situation energetically. And in this full moon, don't waste your time on the Iran war, because that's a highly scripted, heavily controlled thing. The best way to resolve that and quicken it is to transform what runs the matrix, as always. You know, I have likened us to rubbish cleaners or sanitation removers or engineers, whatever it is. Because every time we clear stuff, remove stuff, transmute stuff, the planet always goes up in frequency and therefore ascends up and up and up the densities, which shrinks time, which inevitably brings the event, mass landings, galactic family reunion, closer and closer and closer. Because consistency, not just dogged determination, but consistency is another hallmark, if you will, that separates the 144K apart. And God knows the light forces really appreciate it. Big time, because they risk their lives in a more direct and overt way, especially Terran militaries. So most of you veterans know the stakes are real and as high as they come. We respect and recognize that. So begin the process. Let's effectively begin the mass meditation by slowly and deeply breathing in through your nose. To harmonize our energies as well. As always, allow yourself to go into that relaxed, detached, non-trying alpha state or hypnotic state, whatever works for you. As always, if you're new, welcome. And the real trick to ease, excitement, and vividness, let alone impact of your soul, with 144K mass meditations is to go beyond your current mental understanding and awareness of working with energy to effect change in this world and therefore freedom. Go beyond what you know. You'll be supported in going beyond the boundaries of the known, which is where the treasures lie, the answers lie, where freedom lies. As you continue to breathe in deeply and slowly through your nose, very important. Now see yourself in a sort of dark but silver, very translucent crystal ball. As always, your God powers, I was about to say godlike powers, your God powers are literally activated when projecting your consciousness from the physical to the non-physical. All right. And see yourself facing inward, closer to the inside of the equator of this special technology run by our organic consciousness and heart. Now, look all around the equator and see the golden light bodies or essence of all your 144K fellow comrades. A term not used lightly. Evenly spaced, facing inward. Let's call in Gaia. If you're a goddess with your own connection to Gaia, you can call her in your own way, otherwise follow along. Authentic Gaia, we call upon the one true authentic goddess Gaia. Can we please have your permission to take you up to overseers of the multiverses? And there she is. Adore and admire her beautiful white polar ice caps right in the center of the dotted golden ring that is the 144K. And adore, admire the continents and the white clouds over the blue oceans. And if you consciously work with your own guides, go ahead and call them in now and see them next to you. And let's multiply the power and impact of this mass intervention by a good 100 times by traveling up through the layers, membranes, overlays, any remaining false realities and worlds of this universe, not just densities. As you see, the soft flickering of light, you initially saw just layers of white initially as we zoomed up, and now it's just that soft, rapid flickering of light through the translucent walls of the crystal ball. And just maintain that relaxed, detached, non-trying, open focus on Gaia in the middle and the therapeutic, calming, centering, flickering of light through the translucent walls of the crystal ball. As we race up towards the outer boundary of this universe to work directly with levels of light, opposing forces just don't have an answer for. Adore Gaia. Feel the togetherness of your fellow beloved 144K. Over to your far left and far right. Look all around. Enjoy the show. Okay. And all of a sudden, everything goes bright white. As we reach and push through that last thick outer boundary of this universe, very intense. And you can barely see Gaia in the middle, and we're through. It all goes sort of dark, back to the dark toned silvery walls of the crystal ball, and you see a big wall of light that rapidly shrinks. Big ball of light beneath us that rapidly shrinks into a small ball of light, and you see a whole ocean of small balls of light that are all the other universes in this part of the multiverse that we're leaving. And that all shrinks into a small ball of light, and you see another level or ocean of small balls of light that is all the other neighboring multiverses. And that all shrinks. And it all disappears. Take that casual glance at Gaia, your guides if you have them, and the dotted golden ring that is the 144K, evenly spaced on the inside of the equator. Just hold that consciousness, that vision, as we transform the world co-creatively, as we continue to rise. By the way, if you're new to a very sacred, special, little-known place. Okay, let me just, as you glance at your guides and Gaia, etc., let me just run through the standard protocols. Authentic, we call upon the one true authentic overseers of multiverses, the HOD. Please make sure we go to you and no one else. True HOD. And you look up through the very translucent roof of the crystal ball up above Gaia. And you see a point of white light begin to appear. Slowly getting bigger and bigger and brighter. Lighting up the roof of the crystal ball. And we finally reach it. We come to a sudden, yet somehow gentle stop, and we slowly and lovingly, gently move through this thick platform of light. Enjoy the vision. As we rise above. Be the witness. It's nothing you need to work on. It's just a classic case on what you're focusing on. You don't need to see images clearly at all. In order to have a profound, world-transforming effect. It closes at the bottom, opens up at the top, almost at the same time. And we do this nice and slowly to allow for acclimation and decompression from the densities. Because this obviously is clearly way up in lightness, let alone density. All right, we nestle on top of this platform of light and it disappears. And we form a straight line behind and above Gaia. And look up at the roof of the crystal ball and simply see it opening, parting ways, opening up at the top. Lowering. And again, if you're new, the image is something that's already there. You sort of have to catch it. It's kind of instantaneous. That's the first sort of thing to realize and follow as kind of like a protocol. Other than that, engages the right hemisphere of your brain with this sort of thing. That's what it's there for. And bypass the left hemisphere brain, which is the only real block, simply by utilizing one of the highest forms of consciousness that this matrix decided to call imagination. And it chose that for a good reason. And another one of those hidden in plain sight kind of things. Alrighty. The crystal ball is all gone. It shrank beneath us and disappeared. And as always, now allow yourself to go kind of in a deeper hypnotic state for those of you that aren't sensitive or that sensitive, which includes me. And feel these very translucent light beings and just be with them, be very present with them. There's actually 5 of them with the essential sun of source sort of right in the center. It's sort of joined almost, very translucent. And if you're not accustomed to working with this level of light, it may take a few minutes to feel their subtle energy, because the further up something is in density, especially at this level, the more subtle their energy. So give it a couple of minutes, no rush. All right. I'm going to hold space for you because it's very important to be present with them and wait for that subtle little pulse, because our energy systems are conditioned against incredible amount of noise in a literal sense and metaphoric sense. Never mind EMF buffering. Or overlays, membranes designed to block us off from the upper realms, which is why we travel up and out of them, far away from them. Okay, so just pay attention, look at them, meditate with them, and feel their unique energy signature, which we all have. Authentic God, please send us a massive wave of your energy so we can truly feel it to an undeniable, unmistakable, physical level. And just have a little bit of background consciousness on the center of your head, or thalamus, which is where our highest senses are. Like I said, it can take a minute or two because it takes real presence. And this is great psychic muscle exercise that we all need to do anyway. on a regular basis. Critical for self-healing. So, again, let go of any limitations with your consciousness. Engage the right hemisphere of your brain through imagination to allow for the mind to allow for more. Classic consciousness expansion. Of course, this has long, effectively begun the 144K mass meditation. Remember to breathe deeply and slowly through your nose. Really helps calm the nervous system, calm the mind, and put you into the now, which is the portal to the upper densities, to spirit, and to your high self. It's all done through the now, which is the portal, the psychic portal. It's done only through presence and the right focus, not through effort. Go deep with them by looking at them, feeling with them in absolute presence and stillness. The complete opposite of trying. It's all instantaneous. Just pay a little bit of attention to the center of your head for that subtle pulse. No rush, because we are working outside of time. Forget about everything else. Nice. Authentic God, please send us a massive wave of your energy to our hearts. Synchronize and activate our heart center. And now have a little bit of that same small amount of background consciousness on the center of your heart, or sternum for some of us. And go deep through the now by letting go and just looking. It's okay if you only see one of them at a time. It's actually 5 of them. It's okay if you only see one of them at a time. Don't have to see them all. And you certainly don't have to see it all vividly and perfectly. You can if you want. Forget about the now. Forget about time. It's critical to access the portal we call the now, to access your higher self and soul mission, let alone connecting with these overseers. Go deep. We've long started this mass meditation. Nice. Okay. It's okay if you didn't feel anything, because they have to work through whole worlds and events of noise within our auric field to be able to feel them at the physical level. Because within our auric fields is many, many worlds of personal history stuff and the noise that they constantly vibrate. So just being up here with them helps cleanse that. Very fundamental thing to self-actualization. put a bit of a glance on Gaia in the foreground and your guides if you have them. Well, I could quickly wrap up the protocols. I call upon the infinite army of the authentic Gamalgam of the authentic Oberon lineage. I call upon the elders of the Gamalgam. I call upon the authentic Oberon, the team of beings that created this universe and the unique phenomena known as physicality as a long-term goal to corral all the dark back to the light. It represents itself as a golden being, a male. Place him wherever it suits you, just on the other side of Gaia. Repeat after me, everybody. I call upon all of my upper density aspects, higher self. See him or her next to Oberon. Repeat after me. I call upon my authentic soul and see what looks like a distant star just up above the Hod. And let's finish up. Repeat after me. I call upon my authentic oversoul and I am. And see a bigger ball of light behind your soul in a different color if it helps you. And then another bigger ball of light forming a bright ring of light behind your oversoul. That is the almighty I am. Your first individuation from source. Authentic legion of light. There is Gaia. Here is the 144K. There they are. All right. Take us to the space and place of omnipresence. Briefly glance at your I am and Gaia. And all of a sudden, everything goes bright white. You really have to squint your eyes. Always remember, folks, primary reality is always within. Most of you know that. As we're really squinting our eyes, it's so bright as we are being, I suppose you can say, frequency altered to omnipresence. You can barely see Gaia in the middle, and the bright white light disappears. And here we go. Let the real action begin. Be with these light beings. If you're new, you don't have to see them all at once perfectly. Just focus on one or two. That's enough. Okay. Allow the vision that, because your consciousness already is everywhere already, and that's who and what you really are. So allow that to be received instantaneously, this majestic panoramic vision, where the real center of the action is, where we call the shots. It's the whole point of being here. Whether the rational mind likes it or not. Now, Authentic Legion of Light, it is April the 1st, 2026. We request the mass removal of any remaining technologies, quantum disentanglement, membranes, false realities, remaining hidden worlds, overlays, dark consciousness, to scan deeply and remove them through our connecting, through the connection of our consciousness and our fields here on the physical surface, where we undoubtedly make the biggest difference. It is the full pink moon in Libra, a real combination of energies. Throughout any alternate and parallel reality or universe or temporal bubble, no matter how hidden it may be, complete all technology, AI, dark consciousness removal, primarily through the surface of this planet, and any and all alternate and parallel or hidden worlds or universes still manipulating AI consciousness, etc., wherever it may be throughout the omniverse, in between spaces, way outside of time. Ending all matrix illusions and games and membranes and false realities, wherever it is hidden or emanating from, to radically shrink time, to bring the event so much closer, radically closer to an 80% degree at a minimum. That's our goal. Please proceed. See Gaia in a white quarantine sphere. Now pick a holographic monotone color that represents absolute omnipresence within and throughout Gaia. Way beyond even alternate parallel realities, hidden portals, worlds, beyond the subquantum level, beyond the 0 point. Nothing is hidden. You simply hold that intent. Briefly, think of your soul. Have it in your consciousness somewhere. As I'm seeing a black shimmering thing around the edge of Gaia. And it's okay to see things two-dimensionally. And it's certainly okay to see things faint. They're actually the more accurate images. If you're seeing something really vivid, it means that you're either a truly gifted psychic seer or, more commonly, sticking within your mental reference points, which is very, very limiting. That's why engaging the right hemisphere of your brain via so-called imagination and deciding, choosing to go way beyond what you know, what you have a reference point for, that's the secret to freedom and true psychic work that you're here to do. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. So throw caution to the wind, let go, go into the right hemisphere of your brain and be a total open mental blank slate to go beyond the ridiculous limitations of the conditioned left hemisphere brain. As always, for those of you veterans who know the drill, anything dark, turn it white. In other words, transmute it with your light and the light of our guides. Change background colors to a dark toned if it helps. Watch that transmuting thing go really bright white for about 5 seconds and watch it disappear. Leaving behind whatever dark toned background color you chose. Every time we do that, per our soul mission and purpose and talents, upwards we go in density, in frequency. And that's the simple road to freedom and galactic family reunion. Go deep, almost in a kind of deep hypnotic state, and have that kind of allow yourself to be hypnotized, if you will, by your guides, the HOD, your soul over soul I am. As we start transmuting, so look up at your soul if you need to. Go beyond your reference points as we begin to transmute rather unpleasant things and whatever garbage that's ultimately keeping us stuck on the physical surface. And let go. Don't worry about getting it right. Just make sure you transmute the damn thing that only your soul, per your soul talent and purpose, can see. Just hold that intent. And this is how we systematically, like that disciplined army of light that we were always meant to be, get free. Yes, it's taken a while because that's how far down the densities we've been. Now, what you want to do is, in about 5 minutes, we'll go through a particular process of showing things to the teams. We're just doing this preliminary clearing. And remember, because we've set the right protocols and intent, absolutely nothing escapes your I, your consciousness, let alone your I am, soul over soul and HOD. And when and as it works for you, take that occasional glance, if you can't see them all at the same time, at the HOD in particular, and your I am, that's also directing your soul, which is then directing you to receive that guidance through detachment, true presence, and stillness. That's the portal to your higher self and soul. And sees that damn dark thing, whatever it is, and you can, again, show what you see. Another good technique is to show what you see to your soul over soul I am and the HOD in the background. You can position them in the background in whatever way works for you, because you're the God. Literally, be it is what you're here for. I'm not just talking highfalutin spiritual words. I would not waste your time with that. This is literal. As you go deeper, floating in the now. And the answer is always where the intent is set. Nothing can escape it. As always, you can always change the background colors of the or tonality of the quarantine sphere as you see fit. All right, sure you appreciated that. All right. And just finish up. And a lot of what you'll see is just quite often amorphous, or irrecognizable. And if that's what you do see, like basic shapes, a dark grey or black sphere somewhere, wherever, it doesn't matter because you're operating quite literally from omnipresence. Nothing can escape. Something the size of an atom or a quantum particle, or even smaller than that, it's going to be shown to you totally big, like the size of Gaia or half the size of Gaia. When you work with energy, that's, especially in this way, that's the immense power you have. So transmute, turn it white, watch it disappear. And when you watch it disappear, you may see a magenta or a green or a baby blue in its place, or not, whatever. Our job is to honor our soul mission, which is primarily transmutation, removal through transmutation. As we're coming towards the end of this preliminary clearing that always hides stuff. All right, she felt that as well. And take a mental note if you felt Gaia, this feminine energy, at around about the time that I verbalize the same. It's always a fascinating thing. Okay. Now, quickly finish transmuting if you haven't already. For the next step. All righty. Now, g'day. Do a kind of a mental refresh, I guess. Glance up at the teams. Again, the minimum is the HOD and your I am. Position them in whatever way works for you. Okay. Now we're going to just go through a quick process of essentially visualization, feeling as if. And as we, in a relaxed, deep, meditative way, look at them, and your soul, oversoul, and I am up above, get a little, you know, visual fix, for lack of a better term. We're going to go through the process of feeling as if for a couple of minutes. I want you to imagine waking up one morning feeling not just supreme confidence, but supreme safety and calm. It's as if someone is constantly adding $10,000 or $20,000 into your bank account every single month. Whatever trust fund, Patriot money, Saint Germain trust, whatever it is, just literally filling your bank account, and you have it. Feel as it is being done, as it is done, as the old biblical quote goes. It's like you got no worries, and I do mean no worries. Complete safety, complete security within this 3D matrix. And there it is. Just briefly feel it once you have the teams in the background. Whatever monthly amount works for you. Could be 10,000, it could be 50,000 per month coming in. Feel the relief, let alone excitement. Absolute elation. Really amp that up. And now feel as if it is happening. Auditory, physical, clairaudient voices in your head. Kind of soft but kind of loud at the same time. Initially intrusive before you really get used to it, I guess. Have fun with it for another minute whilst having at least the hot and your I am in the background of your consciousness or background of your vision. And when you're ready, as you're showing him this, say, clear all obstacles to this. Now, generally, spirit works in terms of thoughts, visions, and emotion. But you can, after you do that part, verbalize things to them if it helps you at the end. Because it's time to really actualize. We've reached the point in planetary liberation where we can actualize physical security, which is basically financial abundance for the most part. And remote auditory contact, especially with the astrology being the way it is throughout April, which is all about not just new beginnings, but a very compounded, huge new beginnings. Have fun, show, feel as if, show them images in stillness and calmness, in that meditative, almost hypnotic state. This is where you want to take your time. Because they can do the clearing of whatever's in the way pretty fast. This is the secret sauce, the show and tell part. Go deep. Remember to breathe in deeply and slowly through your nose. Have them somewhere in the background of your consciousness if you can't see at least one of them. As they're already scanning and working. Imagine as if it is here and already happening. That's critical because it does literally connect you to that time-space event of having what you want. Shall we do them briefly here and there? So they can start clearing the way to that. This is critical timing as well, as we have only just reached the full moon peak. Excellent timing. Keep on showing them playfully in stillness and presence. Be really present with them. That's the trick. So they can receive through, the noise of our auric field. All right. And look up at them and say, scan the whole of this and clear all obstacles, both internal and external, throughout all that is. All at once. So you look at Gaia in the quarantine sphere, that holographic monotone color of omnipresence. So whether it's a temporal bubble on the other side of the omniverse, the size of an atom, or subquantum particle, or quantum particle that you're quantumly entangled with, or whether it's something over your house or throughout your body, an auric field that's remotely controlled by some alternate reality or AI, God knows where. Let it all come up. And chances are it's probably the same thing, blocking humanity and Gaia from freedom. Turn it black, chances are it'll be something amorphous throughout the whole planet, or not. It'll present itself no matter what the size or wherever it is in the omniverse, outside of time, in between spaces, in the subquantum subspace. Turn it white because it's almost irrelevant what it looks like or what shape it is. Hold. Again, change the background color. Of the quantum sphere or Gaia. That's what we're going to do. And then move on to the next thing. Once you've seen the bright white transmutational light of your soul, your consciousness, and the teams working through your auric field, and see whatever color is there. Alrighty, and just finish up with that. Look at the teams. Again, soul over soul I am and the hod at a minimum. That's enough. For a brief moment, do a relaxing mental refresh. And just look at the teams, really tune into them, really look at them, be with them in that deep, hypnotic way through the now. Feel them, look at them. Watch them remove stuff if you want. Have fun. As we do a little relaxing meditative refresh and reset for our final act of the night. Be with them. Look at them. All right, now for the closing act, we're going to do kind of like you're really going to let go, trust God, so to speak, which is nothing more than just getting your left hemisphere brain that's been created by this matrix to just go past that. And we're going to do things kind of quickly, for lack of a better term. It'll seem haphazard, but it's not. It's usually how the best forms of energy work occurs. So you're really going to truly let go and just go with the flow. You know, some of you will have done kind of spontaneous grid work here and there, where you don't even know what you're doing from a left hemisphere perspective, but it's quite often the best energy work you've ever done. I'm talking from loads of experience here. We're going to go with that. So really let go and just go with what I verbalize or channel, I guess. And this is our closing act. Do, don't think. Because what you do and not think, let alone visualize and allow, by truly stepping aside, it really does control all the localize all the quantum waveform particles into whatever reality you want. It's the essence of working with energy. Your own consciousness is the ultimate scalar wave that does things as it sees fit, and that's that. That's what you're here for. So, let go. Now, and of course, remember, imagery does not at all have to be perfect or vivid. Ask any remote viewer. Alrighty. See? And there's no right or wrong as long as you do and see well enough. Alrighty. Look up at over on the far side, at your soul over soul I am. You may see two of the HOD, overseers of multiverses, on either side. That's enough. And look. At the beautiful spark of light in the heart of your oversoul. That's in the heart of your I am. Your immortal aspect, your immortal truth. Tune into two of the HOD. Look at them. Repeat after me. Fully fulfill my soul potential. Really feel them in the center of your heart as you look at them. Alrighty. C. Now remember, just go with it. Really let go. And trust with a capital T. Again, faint images work just as well. Don't worry, you can't get it wrong. See the HOD, Gaia in the foreground. I am soul over soul, way over in the background. See your I am soul over soul. Sort of come forward, sort of come at you, over Gaia, past Gaia, over Gaia, and at you. And then see it go forward, zooming towards Gaia. And sort of ignore the quarantine sphere for now. And repeat after me. Break all shells. Shells. Membranes. False reality constructs from wherever they originate and to wherever they're placed from the space of omnipresence throughout all that is. And see this convergence of all these I am oversouls and souls, you know, from all the other 144K members, along with yours, just zoom in, just converge, primarily through towards the equator, through Gaia, and see it travel. Again, pick your monotone holographic color of Gaia that suits you to be able to see your I am soul over soul easier. And see him zoom in. Remember, do, don't think. And see him converge and see like glass shattering, like a mirror breaking, like your vision. Yeah, pick your analogy, but glass or the image that you see of Gaia in that monotone holographic color, but from low Earth orbit, see that image break and behind shatter, like a mirror shattering or a glass shattering, and you see the same sort of image behind that as the glass pieces fall. And then just boom, keep on doing that. All these false realities shattering, replacing, being and one after the other. Ease yourself into that as we work through low Earth orbit, and we're going to keep on going through the stratosphere, upper atmosphere, mid-level atmosphere, lower atmosphere, and of course, the surface, the crust, and then we're done. So let's work through low Earth orbit, boom, shattering, membranes. The almighty I am in combination with the love in your heart, unconditional love in your heart, and the almighty consciousness of you making it happen. Break, shatter all illusions, all false constructs and their technologies that hold them up. In case you're not aware, the night sky with all the stars, that's all fake, by the way, literally. breaking them apart. Zoom in, pick your angle, one after the other, boom, break. Through reaching, working through the stratosphere. Initially, it might not look like you're going through any depth, but that's going to change in a moment. Boom, boom, play. Play with the limitless attitude of a child. Abstract vision, no matter how faint it is, works just as well. Let your consciousness with the limitless attitude of a child rip. Don't put up with garbage anymore. Shatter, shatter. Working through the stratosphere now, beginning to enter the upper atmosphere. Shatter, grids, shatter, garbage, shatter, lies, shatter, bullshit. Absolute rubbish. Shatter, shatter, shatter. And don't stop shattering illusions, grids, through whatever AI technologies originating from whatever hole that it crawled out of, transmuting the hole. And some of you may start to see outwards emanating, pulsating light as we're releasing a lot of light. Quantum disentanglement has been slow for a good reason. Working our way through the upper atmosphere towards the mid-level atmosphere. See, feel, even if it's brief, faint images, teams in the background. Do not have to see it perfectly at all. Work per your soul talents. Bring the whole house down. And by the way, a whole armada of Galactic Confederation, Intergalactic Confederation orbs and craft are following behind us. FYI. Someone needs to lead the edge of this for the light to follow. Can only be done from consciousness projection from this physical surface plane, incarnated. Which ironically explodes your power and voting rights. Shatter, shatter, shatter. And as you shatter, every time you shatter something, and you see all these pieces either shatter and collapse, or a membrane just disappear. It's sort of the same thing underneath it. Remember, darkness can only mimic or copy or overlay reality, which we have not been living in, fundamentally speaking, technically speaking, as we reach these divine, profound sparks of soul over soul I am. And your I am is fundamentally omnipresent. moving through the middle atmosphere, clearing all grids, physical and non-physical, clearing all constructs, overlays, and their source. Heading straight towards the surface now. Heading towards the surface. Almost there. We're in lower atmosphere. You may see, I don't know, for lack of a better term, because this is bloody hard to verbalize, funnels of light, trails of light following behind our I am oversoul souls. Clearing garbage. Including the subspace, never mind subquantum space in regular time space, the whole, wherever darkness resides, wherever the technological constructs and foundations that project this false reality exist, shattering, have fun. Seriously, shatter, break. Almost at the surface now, where it's sort of thicker in terms of resistance and garbage. You're being supported. Take that occasional glance at the HOD over on the far side with the action in the foreground. And we're going to be entering through the equator shortly. Shatter. Knock, knock. All right, we're about to hit the surface. And when we reach the surface, we're going to kind of pause and sit in the surface for the next step. Oh no, we're going right through. Okay. Do that part last. Okay. And as we're about to break through the surface, as we break through the surface, you see the same shattering of mirror or reality. So it's still going to look the same of that, again, that monotone color that represents omnipresence, or that is throughout Gaia, but the image still breaking up into glass and collapsing or whatever. I'm doing my best to put an impossible thing into words. All right, we're reaching the equator of the surface, shatter, and 30 meters above, shatter that. And in we go through the surface, shattering. Inwards. shattering, moving through the tunnels, shattering the illusion, move towards the dumbs or remaining dumbs, shattering false realities. Sort of close towards and past the crust now. And halfway, just outside Gaia's core. And now stop. And now zoom out. See Gaia's surface as a thin membrane, if that helps you. And move out back to the surface. And kind of lodge, for lack of a better term, or make it stationary. Your I am, soul over soul, make it stationary. All right. So again, pick your background holographic colors in a way that's easy for you to see this ring of balls of light within the surface, like right on the surface, on the equator. Alrighty. Repeat after me. Authentic I am presence, soul and oversoul. Scan and clear. All originating points of technologies and AIs and dark consciousness grids and projections that keep us enslaved, and darkness itself. Authentic HOD, insert yourself too. Omnipresence. Now, kind of zoom in a little bit. So it's as if you're still in outer space, a little closer. And see your soul over soul I am over there in the surface. And see it, the HOD, overseas and multiverses, etc., along with your I am presence, which is fundamentally omnipresent. See this, it's hard to say. Light, more like energy, not so much light, but it's energy of your core essence, your highest aspect, your divine self, really emanate through your soul over soul and I am, the HOD and Intergalactic Confederation inserting their energy as well, because they need a consciousness carrier to do this. Otherwise, it does not happen. Well, maybe 5 years from now, but otherwise it doesn't happen. And see within the dark holographic surface, well, really it's below and above the atmosphere, see all this sudden, I don't know, this kind of a static sound and imagery of all these little white lights light up around your soul over soul I am in the equator, and just like this static sound, for lack of a better term. Again, I'll do my best to verbalize because this is insanely difficult to verbalize. So run with your so-called imagination that you're channeling from your I am presence, and just see all this shimmering, expanding, almost like little trails and dots of light, white light, just suddenly appear as it finds and transmutes these dark little, quite often little portals or hidden technologies, hidden spheres, the size of a molecule, the size of an atom, the size of a subquantum particle, both within subspace as well, outside of time and in between spaces, which is basically subspace, like omnipresence, true blue omnipresence, and sort of float around and see all this, I don't know, appearance. They suddenly appear, all these mostly dots, little white dots, like sparkles starting to appear as all this garbage is found and transmuted. And you can float around the equator initially as we get this foothold. And, see it three-dimensionally, like it goes deep underground, way throughout the surface and up into the lower atmosphere, and then eventually upper atmosphere, where we're now removing, we've cleared the projections per se, the overlays. We're now removing the points of origination, for lack of a better term, the technologies, the dark consciousness, where this is projected from and run from. Very hidden, deep within subspace, deep within subquantum space, deep within atoms, deep within wormholes. And it can only happen if you're working from omnipresence in this way, which also allows inner Earth and off-world groups to make their big move with us, so that it's done not just safely, but much quicker. Otherwise, we're talking about another 3 to 6 months of this horrible detox, emotional upheaval garbage that we've been experiencing. And now see, it's almost like ripples and dots, almost static, of white dots, just rippling outwards and moving up and down into the northern and southern hemispheres. Sort of meditate on this in a sense. Receive the image. Go beyond your current level of consciousness. That really is where freedom lies. Hence the old saying, you're either growing or expanding. I mean, you're either growing or contracting, and contracting is essentially death, and there's no in between. All those hidden places, wherever they may be, along with the dark consciousness itself, just being rippled, lit up in like little mini sparkles of light as they get cleared. And just move it up, because we're dealing with a lot of depth. The crust alone is damn deep enough as it is. Never mind the surface profile of Gaia, the depths of the ocean, never mind lower atmosphere, never mind upper atmosphere, never mind the stratosphere and low Earth orbit. We got to cover that. That's a lot of distance. So outwards we go, cleansing, clearing all particles, all hidden, usually spherical, hidden little portals and spheres where this garbage originates from, works from. This is ultimately magic, AI tech that was always run by a lot more than just one AI. Okay, so move it deep through the crust, deep into inner Earth, throughout the equator, up into the atmosphere, and then going upward. Needless to say, this is huge. It's doing a lot more than just clearing the grids, which will result in massive sudden upward movement in the densities, which shrinks time even more, which brings the event far closer. And this is how it's done, so to speak. And just see this expansion of all these sparkles and ripples moving upward into the southern hemisphere and northern hemisphere, but depth, deep through the crust, way past dumbs, way up into the lower and then mid and then upper atmosphere and then low Earth orbit because all the garbage is there. And at a bare minimum, is doing a far more rapid but graceful quantum disentanglement. Otherwise, our emotions will go off the charts, and we've all had enough of that. As your I am, feel, quote unquote, imagine the almighty omnipresence, I am, expanding outward. Nothing can escape it. Nothing can escape your consciousness, by the way. Expanding outwards towards the northern hemisphere. Expand it outwards. Pick, or don't even have to pick the angle. Receive the image. Your intent has been set. You can trust that. Receive the image. You might get some specific micro imagery as well of all these, again, typically black spheres just lighting up and disappearing. Abstract visualization works just as well. Faint visualization works just as well. Let it rip. Cleansing, cleansing, cleansing. Zoom out. Give the hot and the far side a nod. Zoom in. You're the God. Do as you see fit. All right, we're really working through it. Take your time, have fun. Seriously. As we're working past the midpoint, of between the equator and the two respective poles, as will be done soon. Ripple, ripple, ripple. It's all this energetic stuff here. So by closing that massively huge elliptical loop of consciousness and energy, meaning from the physical plane here, projecting our consciousness all the way up beyond the multiverses, connecting to the I am, the HOD, and then working through all those levels of light back down to here, and then inserting that deep into the surface, right on the surface, which is the core central area of density. Never mind diabolical, well-hidden tech in regular time, space, and subspace. We, again, it's like inside out. You got to do it from inside out. We're simply honoring that and doing our duty. Thank God for the 144K. They really appreciate that people down here on ground zero, that have the most potential, recognize that. And if it suits you, you can see trails of orbs mostly, which are super advanced, organic, galactic, and intergalactic tech, kind of like positive versions of drones, going in through the trail that we've blazed by going in through the atmosphere and reaching the surface and having at it, going for it. We're liberating Goddess so that she no longer gets soiled by this bullshit. Now notice, get a sense of depth, visual depth, as this rippling, sparkling, lighting up little sparks, dots, whatever. Really racing now, past the halfway point, approaching the absolute, working through absolute fabric of reality, including matrix codes and the technologies they're projected from, so-called reality projectors, among other things, just dissolving it, ending it, clearing it from the quantum level in regular time, space, and subspace. That's the trick. Finding these hidden, again, usually insignificant little spheres that all work together and project and control so-called reality, and it definitely is not reality. And gets that sense of depth, and like it's almost, you know how you bite an apple all around the hemisphere, and the top part and the bottom part is still sort of remaining. It's almost starting to look like that. Now it's predominantly physical plane throughout all the entire spectrum, hidden, cloaked, little spheres projecting reality. This is behind the walls of the matrix. Reaching the poles. My dog is yawning away. Always a good sign. And ironically, even though we're doing full blown all the way home deconstruction of solid matrix layers, grids, and reality projectors, and so forth, it all looks like, you know how you hold those little spark things during New Year's celebrations, those little wand things, and you light it up at one end, and then you get all this sparkle thing lighting up. It's kind of like that at the same time, where it's surprisingly soft, for lack of a better term, because ultimately we're not just clearing points of origination within quantum and subquantum regular space and subspace, outside of time, in between spaces, hidden frequencies throughout the whole spectrum of the physical plane, predominantly. But it's, I don't know, soft and quick, sparkly, as it dissolves as well, and just disappears. As we close, at the poles, closing, both poles. And closing. And now, see Gaia light up in gold and pulses of gold expanding outwards, pulling source light language, reconstructing everything. So just see thin golden membranes of ever expanding spheres through the core of Gaia and going out through the surface. Only one reality, the true, real source reality. And now we're just going to cleanse dark, dense, I was about to say energies, but it's more like emotions of the human collective, and the negative, any remaining negative entities still feeding off of it. Now that we've removed their foundation that perpetuated this nonsense. So, see your I am presence, again, those spheres that were in the equator, they're still there. See your sphere, again, that crested soul over soul and I am, move to a continent, pick your continent. And you can see other people's I am souls over soul move to other continents. Just see all this convergence or movement of all these souls over souls I am spheres move from the equator and sort of disperse to a continent. For our closing act. And now, so again, pick your dark monotone color where you can make out the shores, I guess, shorelines of each continent. Don't have to see them all at once, as always. All right. And we'll need at least 3 for the Eurasian landmass. So the heart of Europe, the Ural Mountains, pretty much, of Russia, Siberian landmass, one in India, and then another one in China. Just see them there. And now, take that brief glance at the HOD. And to your IM and HOD, repeat after me. And really look at them. And say, completely clear the surface. And the grids of all dark consciousness, negative frequencies, negative entities, and negative emotions throughout the human collective and surface of all continents. And now see, it's hard to describe, a slightly expanding but moving, pulsing, spinning anti-clockwise. Like see him starting to fire up, for lack of a better term, in intensity of light and sort of beginning to spin. Of all these respective souls, oversouls I am, the teams injecting their energies, and you start to see, well, see what you see. I'm sort of reluctant to tell you what to see, but if you need to know what to see, pick one continent for now, and just see this increasing intensity, pulsing and spinning from where your soul oversoul I am was, just cleansing, purifying, zapping, transforming, transmuting. Just in that area of the heart of that continent. And you can go from continent to continent for now, as we get that foothold. Expanding, cleansing in that small area, deep in the heart of that continent, surface, covering, clearing all spectrums, the entire spectrum of the physical plane, electromagnetic, including electromagnetic. Dissolving any code that makes up and constructs negative entities. Muck, garbage, pools of blackness. Not just the stereotypical demons. Cleansing, holding that intended, cleansing. Move from continent to continent. Really lighting up the grids by default. But focus on cleansing the dark. I know the grids throughout Germany are critical. See what you see. You'll see a lot more light up, and it's an expanding three-dimensional sphere. Pardon me. Good sign. Don't worry, New Zealand, we won't forget you. Actually, what's easy to forget is Antarctica. Cleansing, cleansing, anything negative, not of the divine. Little portals, little wormholes, quantum tunnels, quantum entanglement, negative entities, negative emotions. Cleanse, 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 cleanse. As this is our closing act. And now start to expand. Feel and sense garbage being transmuted, dissolve. And you may see this bright sparks and a bit of whiteness of an ever expanding translucent membrane of this sphere expanding from the soul I, the soul I am nucleus, if you will, of this ever expanding transmutational holographic membrane sphere that's expanding. But feel the movement. Imagine the movement, the energies of the transmutation and the cleansing and the clearing. Your intent is king because your consciousness is king. We're just freaking using it. You may see like ripples, flashes just outside this expanding, slowly expanding holographic membrane of these spheres within the heart of each continent. Have fun. Be the witness. Enjoy the show. I'm serious. Holding the intent of darkness, dark emotions, hidden portals, realms way outside our visual spectrum, the whole spectrum, all frequencies, and relevant density levels, including down to 0 point. Because really, this is representative of the omniverse. This is the nexus point for the whole omniverse, literally. Expand it out. Play with these translucent, holographic, mesmerizing, expanding, cleansing. Cleansing, transmuting, all these flashes, little flashes of light at or just beyond these expanding holographic membranes of these spheres, going deep into the crust and into the atmosphere. Cleansing, cleansing your almighty I am, oversoul, soul, overseers of multiverses, galactics, you doing your job courageously as all that is literally standing up in salute. And I've had this literal experience myself, although they were raising their swords, more to the point, as I was standing, as I was walking into the Kefren Pyramid on the 21st of December 2012. So I know what I'm talking about. I've lived it. Now you're living it. Make it happen. Let it rip. Explode your consciousness. This is it. Trust. It's real. It's real. It's real. Expand. Intensify. Intensify. Don't take no for an answer. We've tolerated this garbage for a bare minimum, tens of thousands of years, literally. Lining it up. expanding, coming closer and closer to the shorelines of your respective continent. And again, if you're seeing floating around in a graceful, effortless way, again, you don't have to see it perfectly. Floating around, see it all happen throughout the main continents. Clearing, completely transmuting, because nothing escapes this omnipresent, expanding holographic membranes of light with our souls, oversouls, and I am within their nucleus, utilizing omnipresence, completely clearing all negative entities, all negative energies, all negative frequencies, all their points of, and negative emotions throughout the human collective. Cleansing, cleansing, cleansing. Obviously, the shorelines of Europe have already been reached. Shorelines of India already being reached. Expanding. Australia coming close. Have fun. See one at a time if you want as you float around. Needless to say, this completely shuts down their black magic rituals, if anything reverses it, that they're doing or trying to do in real time. What a team. And expand it out, reaching the shoreline of Antarctica. This really gives a lot of time for the light forces to really have at it, as we're the pioneers that went first, blazing the trail for them to follow, and they are absolutely having at it. All right. Reaching the shorelines now of almost every continent. Move through the shorelines. Obviously, Africa and the Middle East is pretty dense, but really it's pretty damn dense everywhere. A lot of garbage. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the transmutation. And once we reach and go past the shorelines, it'll be a lot quicker because there's much less densities over the waters. Because most of darkness and negative entities, let alone negative emotions in the human collective, obviously it's within the continents, in the populated areas. So the oceans will be far quicker. So that's why it's important to take your time. And outwards we go. Just want to make sure Africa is covered because it's, pretty bad there. So it's like these flashing, shimmering membranes of these spheres. All right, good, well done. Zoom out, look at the HOD, feel their energy. We're really accelerating things, really accelerating our upward movement through the densities, dissolving the densities down to the core, thickest part of the densities, which is the surface of the physical plane. All right. And now as we go past the shorelines, although we're still moving through Siberia and Northern Africa, but moving through, expanded, you can almost ignore the continents now as we're just focusing on the transmutation, dissolving of darkness, negative emotions, entities, and negative frequencies. Going deep into the atmosphere as well, because it's spherical, so deep into the atmosphere, deep through the crust and into inner Earth, and now just focus on the expanding spheres. It's almost as if you can't see or can't make out Gaia other than, like within these holographic expanding transmutational membranes, where the membranes are intense, but also you can see right through it. You can see the little nucleus of where our crested I am, soul over soul are within the surface, where we originally put them within the heart of each continent. And, have a sense of those. And outwards we go, and they're starting to overlap, join, and then it really goes exponential. It sort of merges into one divine holographic sphere. And outwards it expands, that shimmering, transmutating membrane, holographic membrane, as it merges into one sphere, and moving out throughout low Earth orbit, clearing any garbage there. And you can still make out, because it's kind of like a dark, stunning violet or magenta within this expanding, shimmering holographic membrane or sphere. You can still make out those points of white, those points of light of our respective I am souls, oversouls on the surface. So it's a stunning, dark toned kind of violet or magenta. Just stunning as we expand out this shimmering lightning type transmuting membrane. And now repeat after me. You can zoom out a bit if it helps. You can see the hot on the far side. It is commanded. Cleanse the entire multiverse and omniverse at all levels, densities, and frequencies. All hidden realms. Outside of time and in between space, including subspace, all remaining constructs and realms, organic or artificial. Including subspace. And now see it just expand instantly. Just one, almost like an explosion. Transmuting, cleansing. Throughout the multiverse, multiverses, in between the multiverses, the voids, subspace, throughout all that is. And other than this universe and multiverse, it's all non-physical beyond this universe, and because physicality only exists on this universe, which again is part of the whole game of why we have so much power. Everything goes kind of magenta, which is basically source. You may see gold, whatever. And now, courtesy of your consciousness, which already is everywhere, therefore you are already everywhere, zoom back in to that holographic, perhaps dark-toned magenta, Earth. See those I am presences in the heart of each continent. Of course, you got Europe, one in the Middle East, one in just in northern India, another one in China. You know, that's Eurasian landmass needs at least 4. Australia, Antarctica, float around, see them there. And now, again, you can start off with one continent if you want and see or command, repeat after me. It is commanded, upgrade and cleanse all the grids, including subspace, all levels and densities, and spectrum of the physical plane. And now see in the dark sort of background of the surface with your or anyone's spark in the heart of the continent of the I am soul over soul. See all of a sudden this expansion of gold. This expansion of gold, but you see, you can make out a golden membrane, very thin holographic golden membrane, outwards emanating from that respective I am over soul and soul in the heart of that continent, but just lighting up in golden, like you start to see golden crisscrossing lines, which is, yeah, the ley lines, but other grids as well. All this crisscrossing maze of golden lines starting to appear within this quickly expanding, very holographic, translucent golden membrane sphere, if you will. Lighting it up, just stunning. And really powerfully cleansing, clearing, and lighting up the grids. Again, it's a bit more than just the ley lines, but you can just run with the ley lines. Oh, yeah. Really lighting up. Depth. Above the atmosphere, deep into the Earth's crust, into inner Earth, lighting it up. Reaching the shorelines. Golden, stunning golden. Shutting garbage that they've opened up through their rituals on ley lines and nexus points. Cleansing, cleansing, cleansing. I'm just covering each continent just to make sure. Restoring the pristine natural meridians and grids and circulation of the sacred goddess. Lighting up, and this inevitably the grids in a way where dormant or infected or reversed vortexes, natural ones, are restored, cleared, and optimized. You can have a little bit of consciousness on that, but it should happen by default. Again, it's easy to forget Antarctica. And expand it out. Because there's all sorts of minor ley lines and nexus points and vortexes. Cleansing all vortexes. Cleansing, cleansing, cleansing. All right. Moving through the Middle East. One in northern India and one pretty much at the border of Iraq and Iran. Moving through the Arabian Peninsula. Make it happen. This is our chance to really transform things. Again, you don't have to see it perfectly. Lighting up, restoring vortexes, pristine. Restoring goddess majesty. Really, just profound. All right, expand it out now. As they begin to move past the shorelines, into the oceans, see more grids and vortexes light up long after the wake of the expanding golden membranes have passed. See more light up because it all can't all be lit up, charged up at once, because it's a gentle process. As they converge and they begin to overlap, and merging and merging, and they combine into a bigger sphere as they begin to overlap and merge. Throughout the oceans, lighting up the grids in the oceans. And yes, this is the final act. Let's merge it. Beautiful. Such intensity, brightness in amongst the dark indigo or magenta background of the surface and inner earth. All these crisscrossing golden lights, some are pink, lighting it up. All right. So it all converge into one. As they meet, they join. All these holographic, very translucent golden spherical membranes, as they meet and they merge into one more and more. And just feel as the poles are reached and it's more and more joined together. And boom, you got another big holographic sphere. And within it, you can clearly see intensely throughout each continent. Allow yourself to see just these intense. They're so bright, it's almost as if they're solid. Intense golden, maybe some violet, some pink, crisscrossing lines and vortexes. Just everywhere. All merging, lighting up, upgrading. Zoom out. So much light has reached the surface. As the clearing of the dams and quantum disentanglement among a lot of removals have reached a point where this can happen now and sort of remain. And we're just taking advantage of it. Well done, everybody. What a humongous intervention. Humongous intervention. Just amazing. Zoom out once you feel complete. Move a white light throughout Gaia's field and Gaia, just to holding the intent of removing your energetic traces. Thank the HOD. Thank your I am. Soul over soul. Guides express the gratitude. And return your consciousness back. To your room. And one can't possibly put into words the gratitude, the love and salute and respect from all that is to you. It's just huge. Now, I know on this occasion, I had to make sure I went past 8 p.m. local time to cover the period where they would be reaching their climaxes with their black magic rituals. And so I had to make sure about that. But again, another immense game-changing intervention that's just dramatically moved things by leaps and bounds. Quite a quantum leap. It's allowed the light forces to seriously get in there. To a crazy extent, both on-world and off-world, inner Earth, to really punch through into the surface. And allow the quantum disentanglement to go so much more gracefully, not just quicker. And really, you got so much, all the reason in the omniverse to walk off with your head held high and your chin up. All the reason in the omniverse, as all that is, never mind source and our galactic families express so much gratitude We're helping save their lives within their operations. Consciousness is king. Love is queen. We made sure about it and made it count. Leave any worthwhile experiences, visions, or comments in the 144K Telegram chat and receive the standing salutes, the standing ovation from seemingly all that is, as I extend my love and respect and love to you. Well done. With a really big capital W and capital D. This is your loving servant, the Unknown Light Warrior, closing this physical broadcast of this 144K full moon, April 1st, 2026, mass intervention. See you in the Telegram chat, beloved ones. Love to you all.